see today. I don't know. About Xavier right now. We got to go through a progression, and today's the first day of full pads, and tomorrow shell. So it's a day-to-day thing.
Coach, I thought it was interesting after DK's muff punt on Saturday, you went right back to him instead of putting Omari in. Does that just show the confidence that you have in him back there? And how's his turf play going?
Same thing. He's doing a little better, and we'll get him out there today a little bit more. They ran him pretty good last night, so today will be a little more challenge for him, and we'll see. He's probably day-to-day as well. But, yeah, I got confidence in DK. I mean, just did a poor job of, he was kind of up and down with his eyes and lost track of the ball. But we were very fortunate, and, he's definitely a guy we trust.
Dabo, yesterday, Kayvon Wallace told us of Andrew Booth's screw-up that he put it on himself. He said, I haven't done a good enough job maybe as a mentor, and he said he felt like he took that one on the chin, Kayvon did. What does that say about Kayvon's leadership, and what kind of a off-the-field guy has he become for you guys?
Kayvon's a great leader, and that doesn't surprise me for him to try to deflect some things to him. That's just kind of who he is. I mean, I'm super proud of him. He's a captain for us this week, as a matter of fact. But he's been a fun guy to watch mature and grow and transform. Works really, really hard. Takes care of his body. Studies the game. He's just really grown into a heck of a player, but a great leader as well. And I thought the team did a great job in handling Andrew, and Andrew did an awesome job. He's obviously embarrassed and disappointed, and that just is absolutely unacceptable, period. And, a great kid, bad moment, and he'll learn from it.
Anything further on Andrew's punishment? Are you going to sit him at all? I know we had to sit for a half.
Yeah, he'll sit the half. He'll be ready to go second half.
But you would use him in the second half. You're not
Oh
gonna
yeah,
sit him any
no. We made him ride the bus home in his coat and tie, so it was a long ride home for him. He had plenty of time to think about it, and he's handled it right. And he's a freshman. I've had zero issues. Now, you handle everybody different. I may have another guy somewhere down the road, but he might be he may have no money in the bank with me. He might be a different guy, Everybody's different. So I can just tell you, Andrew's one of the best kids we've got on the team, and I've never had a problem with him, and don't expect I ever will. And, he's suffered the consequences, and we're going to move on. He's sat the rest of that half, and we're going to sit this half and be ready to go second half.
You've talked a lot about the makeup of this team being two-thirds more freshmen and sophomores. Does it make it easier or more difficult for this team to police itself with so much youth?
Well, probably more difficult, I would think. Would be the easy answer there. I mean, I don't really have any data, but typically when you've got a really young team and not as many veterans, it's usually a little bit more of a challenge. But this team's been easy. They really have. It's been a good group about their business. We don't have a ton of seniors, but those seniors and juniors are very committed, very experienced, and they come to work every day. They show up, they practice, they prepare well, and our effort's been really good all year long. And I think the young guys are learning. It's just a daily challenge to teach because we got a lot of guys that we have to, reinstall the program with. Even though these guys here, they got it, those guys, you're in a different stage. And our job is to meet them where they are, and because they only know what they know. So you got a group of guys up here in calculus, but this group back here hadn't learned algebra yet, right? And so we've got to reteach the basics, and then you count on the leaders on your team to help you with that. Might be a little private tutoring going on from time to time to help bring them along and close that gap, because there is a gap in your team from an experience standpoint, a knowledge standpoint, an understanding of your program standpoint. So it's a daily challenge.
In all of your years here, is there anyone that Isaiah Simmons reminds you of?
No, he's a very, very, very unique talent.
At what point did you realize he had the chance to be this kind of a player?
I mean, watching him on tape in high school, I thought he had a chance to be really good. And then when I met him and got around him, I really loved the makeup of him, his character and all those things. But pretty early on when he came in here, just his raw athleticism, but he was like a young giraffe running around out there. He was, elbows and knees. He didn't really know a lot of football. And I think he was a guy just excited to go to college. But just the one thing that showed up early was his physicality. He likes it. And that showed up quick, and just his pure athleticism. But he needed to get in the weight room. He needed to learn a lot of football. He needed to learn how to prepare, learn how to practice. There was just a lot of development that needed to take place for him. We redshirted him and threw him in there in a power hour and kind of transformed his body. And then he matured a little bit and got a little more serious about it. And then as a redshirt freshman, he was okay, not very consistent. Showed up on special teams big time that redshirt freshman year. And then, kind of by the end of the year was getting a little more opportunity. And then last year as a redshirt sophomore, I mean, he got his first chance to start and was a little shaky early. I think he realized that he was going to have to prepare at a whole nother level. And he just has gotten better and better and better. So game has slowed down for him. He's having a lot of fun, and he's one of those guys that, as you see, we've got a lot of flexibility in how we can use him.
Has Chad Morris ever said that, boy, I wish Bielema had offered that guy?
What's that?
Has Chad Morris ever said to you, boy, I wish Bielema had made an offer to Isaiah?
No.
Arkansas was his dream school.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. When we were recruiting him, it was Nebraska and Michigan. That was the two schools that we were competing against. But no, Chad's never said that to me.
Isaiah said that he's oftentimes too hard on himself. Can you give us any insight or any examples, maybe on the practice field or in the film room, where he's maybe a little over the top on being his own worst critic?
Not really. I mean, he's really kind of like this all the time. Sits right there, where David's sitting there, and that's Isaiah's seat.
Better athlete than David?
That's slight, it's close. But he's really kind of the same guy. I mean, early on he was a guy that like I said, I just don't think he really knew how to prepare, and I don't think he was just as serious about it. I think he's a very smart guy, but just think he really handles himself like a pro. He really does. Just how he goes about his business day in and day out, and he's going to be a great pro. He's going to be something special. He's what everybody's looking for, because he's that hybrid guy. He's long. He can cover. He can play first, second, third down. He legitimately could go play safety. I mean, he's a guy that could probably make, all conference for us at probably 3 different positions if you could play him there. He's just a really good player. But I'm sure he's tough on himself. But one of the things I love about Isaiah is he always has a great spirit to him. The team loves him. He's just got he's just got this great spirit all the time. You can't help but smile when you get around him. I don't ever see him down. I don't ever see him mad. He's just a happy kid, and takes his job serious. I mean, he really takes a lot of pride in doing his job over and over and over, and trying to please Brent. Brent's done an awesome job with him. Brent's he's not the easiest guy to play for, because he's going to really challenge you every single day. But I think Isaiah has thrived with that.
I think you noted that Nebraska and Michigan wanted him as a wide receiver.
Well, I think Michigan offered him on defense. I think Nebraska offered him as a wideout. I told him quickly, I was like, "You're not a wideout. So if you come here, you're going to have to play defense." That was one of the things I wanted him to understand early. You're not going to play wideout here.
But along those lines, and you've had a bunch of guys that, you bring him in, maybe someone didn't want him, and, he flew over a bunch of schools to come to you. But to know that this is a guy you can make fit, is the physicality part, is that like the bottom line thing that you look for when he's a sophomore and junior in high school? Is there like a checkpoint where you can find that diamond in the rough that maybe makes it easier for you to have confidence in that?
Yeah, I mean, we had lost those DBs after that 15 season, and we had to find some guys, and he was just one of those guys that had not committed anywhere, and watching the tape, yeah, it was one of the first things that jumped out was, okay, this kid's a natural football. I mean, he's physical. Yeah, it's an easy thing to see. Yeah, when you see those guys sneaking up on him, you're probably going to move on to the next guy because it's hard to coach that. I mean, you either have that or you don't, and that was an easy thing to see. And just his, he could run, his range, and showed up on tape. And they played him on both sides, and he was a track guy as well, so we had verified speed and things. And so when we went out there and saw him, and then you meet him physically, and you go, whoa, this guy's with that physicality and his ability to run. We got a chance to really develop him. Not really sure what he is. Is he a safety? Is he a nickel Sam? What is he? And but we'll figure it out. The biggest thing is, and he was a pretty highly recruited guy. I think he was like a 4-star guy or something like that. I'm not. Maybe some of the recruiting folks will know. He was one of them. I think he was at least a 4-star. But he was probably going to go to Michigan or Nebraska, and then he came in here and visited and loved it. And thankfully, he came.
I know you said Niles probably played his best game on Saturday. Where have you seen him kind of grow the most this season?
Yeah, he definitely played his best game. I thought he did a great job just staying on his feet, protection, recognition, block destruction, just being physical, doing a great job with his eyes. He's improved his pass rush. He's just gotten better in a lot of ways and just more and more confident. He's a physical kid naturally. But he did a great job last week. That stretch scheme that they ran, they do a good job of cutting you down backside, and they can split your defense in a half in a heartbeat. And that little back they had was quick. And I thought Niles did a really, really good job of defeating the blocks and staying on his feet and keeping our defense intact. But made some plays, and he's just grown up. He's taking advantage of his opportunity. He's been through a lot. He's had to be patient. He's had injuries. He's had a lot of things he's had to deal with. And I just think he's settled in and is starting to play with a lot of confidence.
How peculiar is it for you to see a player who you used to coach on the other side?
I'm trying to think. I don't know that I've had that. Might be the first time for me. I'm not really sure. I have to really think about it. I don't know that I've experienced that. I was trying to think even at Alabama. Take that back. I think we had one kid at Alabama that went to Tennessee. It's different. I love Richard. I mean, he's one of my favorite people and was just a great kid, great family, a model student. Just an unfortunate situation for him, going into that, I guess it was his 4th year. He was really primed to really be a big factor for us. And he just, he had that car wreck, and he's lucky to be alive, really. And he knows that. I mean, it's amazing. It is amazing, from where he was with his injury. And then, he was out a whole year, and then he tried to come back, and he just couldn't quite do it. And he's out another year, and then he ended up having another little surgery that I think maybe because I think he was done. I mean, he was like done with football, and he was a student coach for us his last year. But I do think that's one of the great things that the NCAA has allowed is that 6th year. If you were redshirted, then you had another year that you lose, you can get that year back. A kid like Blake Vincent, for example, he technically can get this year back. I think that's a good thing that the NCAA's put in place. So it's wild, but I'm super proud of him. I talked to him several times throughout the process, and I'll talk to Dazio several times about him, and it was the right fit. Biggest thing was just making sure that he went to a spot where he could play, and there was a real need for him with his situation, and so it's worked out. And really watching all the tape, he's gotten better as the season has gone, and now he's really playing well for him. Started for him last week, and he's technically sound, does a good job, and so we texted a little bit back and forth last week. Told him we were going to double team him the whole game, and so it'll be good to see him. Really, just happy for him. I mean, it's a real inspirational story because I know what all he went through for 2 years, and his football was done. So I was pretty surprised when he called me back in, I guess it was May. He called me back in May to tell me that he was thinking about maybe trying to play again on a 6th year. And so we talked through it, and, rest is history. But happy for him. Happy for him.
Coach, Levon Kirkland being enshrined in the Ring of Honor before the game, how well have you gotten to know Levon over the years?
Pretty well. He's been around a lot. He actually worked for the university for a while, and I was a fan of his before I came to Clemson. Knew about him as a player, but he's just he's a sweet spirit. He's a great man and a great father. He lost his wife to cancer a few years ago, and he's coached. He's done a little bit of everything, but very deserving of this honor, and a great representative of Clemson University, Clemson football in every sense of the word. I think he's probably the most respected, one of the most well-liked guys amongst his peers. Just a great gentleman, and I know it's going to be a great celebration with he and his family this weekend.
What was it all like for you with Richard? Were you surprised that he was giving it another shot?
Yeah, I was surprised. We talked about it, and because I was a little worried, but he had another little procedure done, and he just felt great, and he just felt like that he could do it, and he wanted to give it a shot, and he really just wanted to talk about it. He wanted some counsel, he wanted my blessing too, and we talked through all the aspects, and then he ended up at BC. I ended up talking to Dazio about him a couple times, and it worked out. So he's doing a good job. But again, it's pretty cool to see him back on the football field in a uniform, because he'd been through a lot, and 2 years of not playing football. To see him, it's pretty impressive. To see him where he is, and again, from the beginning of the year to where he is now, I'm really, really proud of him. It's not like he got spring practice, it's been literally over 2 years since he's played ball, and now you're out there, and then he's at Boston College, and their style of play, and from a physical standpoint. So I think it's just been great for him and his confidence, and just hopefully being able to finish and walk away, maybe with a little more peace.
With what you lost off the front seven from last year, has this defense in any way exceeded your expectations of what they could do halfway in?
I don't go into the year and say, okay, all right, by this time we need to be the 8th ranked defense. So I just expected us to play tough and play fast. I think they've done a great job. I didn't really, like I said, have any numerical expectations, but they've probably exceeded everybody else's expectations. I just felt like we'd be a good defense, and felt like our back seven would be the best that we've had, and a strength of our team, and I think that's exactly what's happened, and allow us to grow up those guys up front. We've got more sacks than we had this time last year. We're doing a good job. We've certainly got more turnovers, and I think that we've used our personnel very well, week in and week out, to give ourselves the best chance to be successful, and we've started to develop some good depth, and some young guys have stepped up. A guy like Tyler Davis has come in here and really just been a huge blessing for us. I mean, you lose the guys that we lose, and somebody's got to step up. And he's definitely been a guy that, we knew Niles and Jordan were back, and those guys at the end that played a little bit last year. But, KJ's coming on, Maskell's coming on, and now, the addition of Tyler has been a huge benefit for us.
Given that, are you surprised that when people talk about you, it seems like the first thing they go to is whatever they think about your offense? And that given that they've exceeded expectations on that side of the ball, that people do seem to be ignoring a little bit how good your defense has been?
Yeah, and even our offense, we're right where we were last year and ahead in several areas, about the same in a few and a little behind in a couple. But, I just think that people have, I guess they think we're just supposed to score every time we get the ball and never turn it over and never drop a pass and make every block. And it's just not, that's not reality. But offensively, we're in a great spot. We're in a really good spot. And then, I think that a lot of people have missed the boat on our defense. Done a great job. The story coming into the year was, we're not going to be very good, and there's no way you can replace, all these guys. And the story was about who's not here, and our defense has really done a great job. They really have, and it's been strength in numbers. That, just like we said coming in, it's been strength in numbers. Not a lot of superstars up front yet, but a group of guys that are collectively getting the job done. And our strength, playing to our strength on the back seven, has served us well. And then offensively, we've done a lot of good things, but it seems like anytime we do anything bad, that's all anybody wants to focus on. Just want to focus on the bad. We've done a lot of good. Trevor throws 2 interceptions, and that's all you see on ESPN. You don't see 20 of 29 and 3 touchdowns, and you don't see the good stuff. So that's just kind of comes with the territory. We just keep